Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure diorama review. Today, we're going to look at the ZBOBTOYS Torture Chamber 1/12 scale diorama. I ordered this thing from Big Bad Toy Store. Hopefully, it'll be as good as I expect it to be. 1/12 scale, intended for 6-inch scale figures, but often will work for 7-inch scale as well. So let's take a look at the packaging. And as you can see at the front, Torture Chamber 1/12 scale accessory. Blank on the sides, the back, made in China. So with no further ado, let's open it up. Alright, now that we have this thing out of the package, here it is laid out in front of you. It doesn't come with any traditional accessories or anything like that. You really have 3 pieces here. The main back wall, a little sort of wooden piece to attach your torture victim, and then the base there. And it's got some chains to also attach to your torture victim. In this video, we're going to take a look at the diorama. We'll take a look at the brief assembly. We'll check out the action features, measurements, and overall details in this thing. And then we'll check out a wide variety of action figures from different various companies to see what fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know which ones you can use them with. So this is from ZBOBTOYS. I do have a few other dioramas from ZBOBTOYS. They're typically aimed at 1/12 scale figures, 6-inch scale, but a lot of them work with 7-inch scale stuff as well, and we'll check that out in this video. So, let's get this thing put together. Let's start off with the back wall. So here's the back wall. This is the main part of the diorama, made of kind of a resiny material, very stable, kind of useful just by itself like this, but not nearly as useful when you put it all together. So, if you take a look, sculpting detail is fantastic. There's texturing all over the bricks. It's got a nice little sort of paint wash on it. It looks very nice. You see the inside detail, curved at the top. Nice little back wall there. Totally flat on the bottom. The back side, totally smooth and unfinished. Could have at least given the back side the same kind of stone treatment. Then we have this base piece here. Same kind of stones, but it's got this large chain system here. You'll be able to attach it to your figure while they're sitting there being tortured. Bottom is unfinished, fairly smooth. The rest of it looks great. And once you put the 2 pieces together, the back wall piece will simply lay on top of the base. Looks about like this. Nice little scene. Kind of small, at least wide-wise, but it's pretty tall. Does look good and should be pretty useful for a wide variety of scenarios. And we have this final piece. Looks to be sort of a stone block with a little bit of wood on top. Now the wood is casted in the same color as the stone, which I don't think comes out very good. Should be sort of a brown color here. You can definitely tell it's supposed to be wood. You can see the lines, sort of wood finish there. Same bricks on the bottom. A couple of little wood pieces to stick out. I can see your figure, I don't know, maybe have his hands sort of chained to this thing. It looks good on all the sides. So here's this torture chamber, fully assembled. It looks really good, although I think that middle part would benefit from a slight repaint where the wood is. That way it wasn't gray like stone. It could be brown like actual wood. I'll probably never actually get around to doing that myself. It would actually be really easy to do, but here it is as intended. Like I said, the detail is fantastic. I really appreciate the sculpt and texturing on the stones. Now to check out the measurements of this thing. From bottom to the very top, about 12.25 inches tall. As far as how wide it is, about 8.25 inches wide. And how deep is it? About 7 inches deep. And now for the action features. There are really no actual action features for this thing, besides you can display it in 3 different ways. Just the base and the back wall without the sort of wooden post in the middle, or all 3 together. And then of course, it has those 2 chains to chain your figure up. And it just looks very nice. Now let's get some action figures in this thing. Here are the first 2 figures that came to mind when using this torture chamber. We've got a bloodied up, beat up Dutch from Predator, and then a battle damaged Ash from Evil Dead. Both these figures are NECA. Both of them are bloodied up. Seem very appropriate for this torture chamber. Here's this bloodied up beat up Arnold Schwarzenegger Dutch action figure sitting on a little bench. I should probably actually put his hands up like he's going to be tied up around this thing. Now to wrap him up in these chains. There's a wide variety of ways you can do it. Try to just sort of wrap it around his wrists, wrap it around his arms, have him chained to the seat there. Here's an image of Leatherface torturing one of his victims, or Pinhead doing something similar. Hell, you could even do some sort of crossover event with the two of them. Here's a look at a couple of soldiers. They appear to be Middle East soldiers. They're beating a captured US soldier. Nice little diorama. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the epitome of a US soldier in this situation between Predator and Commando. Here's the Evil Dead figure in there, bladed up, chained up, getting tortured. This Ash figure actually comes with an alternate head. It's an even more beat up and bladed up head. Almost looks zombie-ish. This is how he's going to look after he's been tortured for several hours, or possibly days. I also thought these bloody Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures might look good as torture victims. And at least some of them appear to be in regular clothing. Some of them wouldn't really work so much in this scenario. Here's a Jazzwares wrestling figure in this thing. Seems to accommodate larger 7-inch figures just as well as 1/12 scale figures, and for that I'm thankful. Here's a Hasbro Marvel Legends figure in front of this. This is Logan. A little bit bloodied up in the face. Might be okay torture victim. A little bit smaller than 7-inch figures. Should fit a little better in this thing, I'd imagine. Here's Logan in this thing. Fits pretty much every bit the same as a 7-inch figure. Of course, he's kind of on the taller side of 6-inch figures. And some of those NECA figures I picked are kind of on the smaller side of 7-inch collecting. But really happy how versatile this thing works out. I pulled out these DC Direct, DC Collectibles, DC Essentials, Deceased figures. They're pretty much zombie versions of DC characters, but they can also double up as bloodied up, beat up versions. Thought these might be pretty cool in this thing. And a little bit more specifically, I thought I could do something with this deceased Batman and Joker. Here's the Joker. He's got Batman captured. He's torturing him, beating him with a crowbar. Batman is sitting there, bloody and helpless. And I don't really see Batman capturing the Joker or torturing him. Seems more appropriate for Red Hood to be in that role. Here's Red Hood, getting some payback on Joker with a crowbar. And hell, you could use this for something kinky, not even a torture chamber if you really wanted to. And the thing I was looking forward to doing the absolute most was going to be taking these McFarlane DC Multiverse, the Batman Who Laughs and Robin Crows, and utilizing this torture chamber with them. Here's the Batman Who Laughs. He's got the new Robin in the chair. He has him captured, torturing him. He's trying to turn him into another member of his Robin Crow army. Now let's check this thing out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how it fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can use it with. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. Here it is, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and it works pretty good with the Jack-specific figures, the larger guys I collect. And here are some DST or Diamond Select toys next to the torture chamber. Here's a Diamond Select penguin, chained up and bloodied up. And now, here's some McFarlane toys next to this thing. Here's a McFarlane Princess Bride Wesley being chained up and tortured. Perfect for this figure. Then, here's some DC Direct and DC Collectibles next to it. Here's a DC Direct Perry White, chained up and being tortured. And here's some NECA figures next to the torture chamber. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. Here's a Mattel wrestling figure tied up. And now, some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers here. Here's a Jazzwares wrestler tied up, ready to be tortured. And here's some Mezco 1/12 collective figures next to this thing. Here's a Mezco Joker tied up, ready to be tortured, even though this Joker looks like he's going to be doing the torturing. Then, here's some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures next to the torture chamber. And here's some Mafex figures next to the torture chamber. Here's Billy the Butcher, tied up, ready to be tortured. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. Here's a Marvel Legends Loki chained up. And here's some SH Figure Arts action figures next to this thing. Here's an SH Figure Arts Batman, captured and being tortured. And finally, here's some Jazzwares Fortnite figures next to this. And here's a Fortnite Midas about to get tortured. Overall, it's a pretty cool diorama. The sculpt and texturing is excellent. The thing feels pretty durable. Chains work nicely. I love that it works with smaller 6-inch figures all the way to the larger 7-inch stuff I collect. If you have any suggestions, other torturing scenes that I might be able to do with this thing, drop me some lines in the comments below. If I were to rate this thing, probably going to give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe drop down to 7.5. I originally thought I was going to be just mildly pleased with this thing, but I end up liking it a whole lot more than I expected, and that is definitely a good thing. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.